Hello friend, welcome back to the channel. I missed you. Did you miss me? A lot's gone on since the last time we talked. YouTube has dinged me a couple of times in terms of copyright. I tried to share the author of the video in the description each time I use the content, and my narrative is go to that station and select them. Nevertheless, I got bummed out by that. So I'm back, being that this is the end of March. Spring break is just about wrapping up here, and because it's wrapping up, that means that the beaches are going to be open again and we don't have any more curfew. The cost of parking is going back, hopefully back to its normal rates. A lot of times when they raise the rates, sometimes they balk on returning to the regular rates. They keep them a little higher. Towing or infractions are going back to the regular rates. Hopefully there's no what we call license plate readers, LPRs, where they're slowing down traffic into one lane so that they can read your license plate or run a check through, the criminal justice system. So it's almost back to normal, because South Beach has been, quote, shut down due to curfew. At one point, I believe it was Friday around 12 a.m. I believe until Monday around 12 a.m. Basically, you were not allowed to be on Ocean Drive or the beach. That's my understanding. Now, because that's the case, and the city of Miami was making it so difficult for people that's already paid money to come down and have a good time, I felt like, in essence, I'm going to boycott them, and I did, so I haven't gone there. Needless to say, this area has tons of beaches. So therefore, if you don't go to Miami Beach, which is South Beach, you can go up the road to Haulover Beach, or to Hollywood Beach, or to Dania Beach, or to Fort Lauderdale Beach, or Deerfield Beach, or any of those other beaches, and they did. Just at a casual glance, I have not seen where there has been the level of arrest or I'm going to call it hooligan activity that they may always want to show on TV. So I suspect that in next year a lot of people are not going to choose Miami or South Florida, and hopefully we'll be back to normal. One of the other updates, Bad Boys 4. What you gonna do? The movie has stopped filming. They have concluded filming here. They put out a trailer, and because YouTube copyrighted me on somebody else's content, although I do give them the credit, I have a Bad Boys short here, and I say, I got this from Will Smith's Instagram account or whatever the case may be, and I'm giving the credit to him. So at this point, I'm a little leery of using anybody else's content. But needless to say, Bad Boys, that filming was a success. I believe the area really liked the buzz associated with the movie industry, and there are a couple of trailers. So if you want to search the internet for those trailers, then you will see Bad Boys trailers. Coming up in a week or so, being that the Olympics in Paris begins I believe it's going to begin in August. I don't know if it begins at the end of July or August. I think July. France usually goes on vacation. But the Miramar Internationals, maybe I call it the Miramar Invitationals, is going to be here, where you have a lot of the Olympic class sprinters. They should be running, and that's, quote, almost right in my neighborhood. So I plan to go there and see if I can capture video some of these events, and I'm going to say I haven't tried this, but I believe I was at one of the sporting events where they may say, okay, you can take your iPhone in, but if you take your GoPro, they consider that to be a professional camera, and they wouldn't let you take that in. So I'm going to see if I can get some footage for you at the Miramar Invitational Track Meets, being that we're getting close to Easter. Here, that means the snowbirds are flying north. A lot of the seasonal visitors from Canada, they come down, let's say for instance at the end of November or in the November time frame, and usually they leave around March time frame, right before maybe Easter. Although spring has sprung in certain parts of the country, they are still getting snow, so the weather here is still appealing. And the other update from me is I'm still in the process of preparing for my international travel. One video a while back, I thought it was imminent that I was about to close on the sale of my home. I was preparing to move. Needless to say, life happens, and that has been delayed, but nevertheless, I am still in the process and looking forward to traveling. Now, I feel like I want to go everywhere, but I can't go everywhere. One thing about traveling is you need to always be aware of where you're going in terms of what hemisphere it's in. An example, it's March now, so it's spring here. Spring here in the southern hemisphere would represent, what does it represent? Does it represent fall? I believe it represents fall in that hemisphere, whereas summer here would represent winter. Yeah. So therefore, places like Brazil, depending on where you go in Brazil, needless to say, the closer you are to the equator, you're not as impacted by the season, because it's always hot. It's hot and hotter, almost like in South Florida, hotter and hotter. That's what I call the two seasons. But depending on the hemisphere, it does impact your where you are going to go. Some of the destinations that I had in mind was Brazil, Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, and you never know after that. Then I was thinking about going over to because Brazil's quote mother country is Portugal. There's easy flights from Brazil to Lisbon, Portugal. So you go over to Portugal, and I understand Lisbon is a good destination for people that's looking at retiring or living outside the United States. The challenge with that now is if you go to Europe during the summer, it's that busy season. Busy season means high rates, and especially if you're going to be in France, because being that the Olympics are going to be there in August, I believe it's the first week in August or so. I need to check on that. But France typically goes on vacation in July. So I should say France, but the French. So what that really means is that rates are going to be higher because there's going to be more of a demand on train, more of a demand on hotels and things of that nature. Dubai, Qatar, depending on which airline I take, maybe Istanbul, because of Turkish airline. They are still in the runnings, and we shall see when I land in Thailand. So once I get in the Asia continent area, it's going to be Thailand. I want to go over to Vietnam, and hopefully maybe Malaysia, Singapore, and while I'm there, depending on how the finances go, maybe Australia. So that's kind of ambitious, but a lot of things has to happen. Well, my thought was, I'm not sure all of that's going to happen now that I'm just talking, because I wanted to be back in the U.S. around August to be with my mother as she celebrates her, 94th birthday. So I just wanted to catch up. I know this has been a little longer than I thought. Please share, subscribe, like, and I look forward to spending time with you. By the way, I am getting a Patreon channel, so look in the description for those details. Talk to you soon.